I'm Trung Pham, founder and CEO of RYSE. Let's answer some of the top questions from our investors. This is 10 questions in 10 minutes with RYSE. Matthew Campbell asks, what makes RYSE different from the competitors? Well, unlike traditional motorized shades, we design our products to be cost-effective, easy to install retrofit solutions. Competing solutions from large players like Lutron, Somfy, or Hunter Douglas require expensive, professionally installed motorized shades. They're often marketed to new builds or homeowners looking to replace their older window shades. Now we focus on retrofits, meaning all our products are designed to work with your existing window coverings. No need to replace them. For example, the RYSE Smart Shade, that's installed on the window frame and controls the beaded chains or cords just like a motorized pulley. Or the RYSE Smart Curtain, that can be installed in under 1 minute by hanging on the rod, which runs across the rod to open and close the curtains. And that's what makes us unique from other products. And of course, because it's unique, we apply for patents and IP protection on every piece of technology we build. Now, Stephen Hughes asks, tell me more about your patents and competitive advantages. Well, we've been granted 10 patents by the US Patent and Trademark Office, with multiple additional patents pending. But what good are patents if you can't really enforce them, right? So we've been extremely successful in blocking the ability of knockoff products from selling on Amazon. In fact, we won an Amazon court judgment under the Amazon Patent Neutrality Program, which has been rebranded to the Amazon Apex program. It's a very progressive program where instead of going to the courts, which can be extremely expensive and cost years of litigation, Amazon can make a quick decision on IP infringement. So this means that anytime there is a copycat seller for one of our Smart Shade devices, we can kick them off Amazon, not only in the US, but also in Canada and Europe as well. What we have to do actively is monitor Amazon on a weekly basis. And if we find any knockoffs, all we have to do is submit that listing page to Amazon and the product gets delisted almost immediately. So anytime you're on Amazon and you look for smart blinds or smart shades, we're going to be the only retrofit solution that works with the existing beaded chains. This means that we're the only product and solution in market that sells on Amazon and retail channels. And if you own distribution to the end consumer, you own that revenue. I always like to say distribution is defensibility. Rebecca Bryant asks, who are our existing investors? I'm super proud to have a large community of investors that really believe in our vision. Some of our institutional investors include venture capital groups like Cogito Capital and Supporters Fund. We also have some high-profile entrepreneurs who have invested. Shawn Doughtery, co-founder of Somfy, the makers of the cell phone battery cases. She sold her company to Zag for over $100 million. Anthony Lacavera at Global Life, who co-founded Wind Mobile, a mobile phone provider in Canada. And he sold that company for over 1.2 billion US. It's billion with a B. And of course, we have Shark Tank's very own Daymond John, who interviewed me multiple times before investing. And I'm also proud to have a large community of friends, family, and even customers who have believed in our vision and invested in us no matter how small or large. They're the real champions who always are excited to share our stories to their friends and colleagues. Eric Collins asks, how have your sales been and where do you see your growth in the coming years? So I'm sure you've all seen Shark Tank, and what do the sharks love? Well, they love revenue, and we've already generated over 10 million in lifetime revenues. We intentionally took our time to grow slowly over the early years in order to launch, get customer feedback, and iterate on our product to ensure we scale the right version of our product. Because of this, we were able to reduce the cost of goods from over $80 per unit in our first generation device to under $40 per unit in our second generation device. That's a 50% reduction. And our revenues have been phenomenal, both on Amazon and Best Buy. We're expected to grow about 300% year over year from 2023 to 2024 to over 3 million in revenue. And in 2025, we're projected to pull in over 10 million in revenue, all through online sales. And how do we break that $10 million in revenue mark per year? Well, our monthly sales have been growing 20% month over month on Smart Shade alone. And we recently launched the RYSE Smart Curtain, which will continue to add top-line revenue and juicy margins for us. And it will allow us to tap into a larger customer base within the window coverings market. So if you add our monthly growth of Smart Shade and the additional Smart Curtain, this is how we believe we'll be able to break that 10 million mark in annual revenue. Carlos Ramirez asks, do you plan on selling to real estate developers, landlords, and then brick and mortar retail stores? So for us, these large wholesale projects and sales channels have a slower sales cycle, but it's still a very large and important channel due to the sheer volume it could push. Now, we focus on two types of partners. One being smart apartment platforms and landlords that own large portfolios of buildings or properties, specifically ones that can readily integrate our products via Z-Wave or Wi-Fi. We developed our Z-Wave accessory for the sole purpose of tapping into this channel, which is currently shipping to some key partners. Stay tuned throughout 2025 for some key announcements on how these projects pan out. Second is retail. As you may know, we are in over 120 Best Buy retail store locations across Canada. and we're currently onboarding with Home Depot. Our goal is to pilot in 30 physical stores with our drop-in displays to see how receptive their customers are before being pushed into more locations. Again, slow and steady wins the race. We want to be successful in retail and do it right. With the launch of Smart Curtain, we have a huge pipeline of retailers we'll be pursuing for distribution, simply because there are more retailers that sell curtains than there are window shades, especially in furniture and home decor stores. This is because curtain panels come in standard sizes, whereas window shades typically come made to measure to fit the size of your windows. Raj Patel asks, how do you plan to grow internationally? Great question. In fact, we've launched in Europe, the UK, and Australia. While the US is still the single largest economy in the world, the entirety of Europe eclipses this. So it makes sense to launch into Europe next. While this does pose its own challenges related to the various countries, currencies, languages, and logistics between them, we've already priced our products for each unique region, adhering to local regulations and registering for VAT and local sales tax. Now, to scale efficiently in Europe, we'll be leveraging Amazon as the fulfillment partner, as well as key sales channel, specifically setting up our operations with the Pan-EU program at Amazon. This allows us to hold inventory in 9 European countries, including the UK, and optimize distribution costs while providing Amazon Prime shipping, because as we all know, customers love getting their products fast. And in case you missed it, we do hold the European patents for our smart shade technology, and will continue to block the sale of any copycat sellers in the market. Andrew Taylor asks, what is your vision for RYSE and how big really is this market? Our vision for RYSE is to be synonymous with smart blinds and smart shades. When someone thinks of motorized blinds, automated shades, electric blinds, or anything like that, we want them to think of RYSE. We want to be the next Ring who became synonymous with smart doorbells, or Nest with smart thermostats. And we have a very laser sharp focus on this vision. We're not distracted by other smart home categories where there's likely a handful of competitors. We never want to make another Me Too product just for the sake of making it. We want to be playing in a category the competition is ignoring, and especially with window blinds and shades. Just look around you. There are a lot of windows out there. While you might only have 1 Ring doorbell per household or 1 or 2 thermostats in a home, you could easily motorize 10 to 20 windows in a single home. Not even that. We're not limited to selling to just residential homes. You could sell through apartments, condos, hotels, and office spaces. Every building you could think of that has a window is a potential customer. This is where we actually believe that we can be bigger than the Rings and Nests of the world, because we could sell sheer volume to the same customer. And that's what gets me excited about this space and category. Daniel Moore asks, if I invest, when can I exit and sell my shares, and how? So you have to think of this as a longer term investment opportunity. Typically, any angel investor or startup investor at our current stage in the company wants to see a 10x return on their capital within 3 to 5 years. So for example, if you invest 10K in a startup, you'll want to see 100K back in capital. Of course, our goal is maximizing our valuation, share price, and return for our investors. But as they say, nothing is guaranteed in life except for death and taxes. And there are 2 viable paths we can take. One is going public, going through an IPO when we are at a stage when we need to raise significant amount of capital. Now, the path that excites me the most is actually a potential acquisition by a larger player, either in the technology space or in the window blind space. On the technology front, companies like Amazon and Google make sense. Amazon has acquired multiple smart home companies, including Ring for over $1 billion, Blink, the security camera company, and Eero, the Wi-Fi mesh company, while Google has acquired Nest for over $3.2 billion, Dropcam for over $550 million, and even invested $450 million into ADT for just 6.6% of the company. Apple is another potential acquirer, since Apple recently entered the smart home space with their own hub for the home that's launching. Other potential acquirers in the window blind space include Somfy, the largest motorized shade company in the world, who invented tubular motors for roller shades, Lutron, European player in our space who acquired Q-Motion, as well as Netanmo in the years past, and Hunter Douglas, the largest window blinds company in the world. These are other players that just make sense. But right now, our focus is to raise this capital to continue to launch new products, grow revenues, and get the company to a stage where either an IPO or an acquisition makes sense. James Anderson asks, what will the investment money be used for? So I'd like to say there's 3 main buckets for funding. One is to continue to invest in R&D and developing new products and IP. We need to continue to launch innovative products that the world hasn't seen before and protect them with strong patents, like what we did with smart shades. This includes the newly announced smart blinds, as well as a future product for cordless shades. The second bucket is to invest further into sales, marketing, and advertising. We need to continue to build brand awareness and let the world know our type of products and solutions exist. And the third bucket is inventory. We need to be able to have enough inventory to keep up with demand. Historically, this has always been a challenge for us, as we would always stock out of inventory. But now, we're in a place where current demand can be met. But we need to plan for the future, and we need to plan for inventory needs for our new products we're launching as well. Sophia Petrov asked, how did you come up with the idea for RYSE? So this was a solution to a personal problem I faced. I moved into an apartment condo and had my roller shades installed. You know, the ones with the beaded chains? And every morning I'd have to open my window shades to allow the bright lights to come in and light up my space. But when I got home from work, my condo would be scorching hot, just like a sauna. All I wanted to do was motorize my shades and put them on a schedule to block out that heat. But I learned that if I wanted motorized shades, I'd have to get my existing window shades all replaced for a cost of $1,500 per window. And I had 4 floor-to-ceiling windows, so that was just too expensive. I looked everywhere on Google and forums for a product that could simply pull the beaded chains like a motorized pulley. And sure enough, it didn't exist. And that was really the eureka moment. Now, how many people like me would want the convenience and comforts of having motorized shades, but they didn't want to spend an arm and a leg on it? $1,500 per window is just ridiculous. So I set out to develop a solution to solve this very problem. And you know what they say, sometimes the best businesses are the ones that you set out to solve a personal problem. Well, I hope I've answered some of your top questions you have about RYSE and our investment opportunity. Don't hesitate to reach out via text, phone, or email if you have any additional questions at all. And when you're ready, visit our website to complete your investment application and join us on our journey as we disrupt the windows covering industry with smart and simple technology. Thank you once again.